Hello everyone, this is your friend and host Hari Nakai. I welcome you on our show Honeywalia Shows. Today is Sunday and we have Mr. Paul Singh from Maxwell Polaris. His phone number is 780-217-9001. Paul is there on our show every Sunday and he's back. So welcome Paul on our show.
Thank you.
And how's the market, Paul? Market is actually, which we can see now, is it's fluctuating.
Yeah.
What about you? What is your feedback on the market right now?
There's a lot of uncertainty, and then recently, amidst this uncertainty, recently lumber prices went up.
Oh yeah.
So that's talk of the town, talk of the industry right now. That with the lumber prices almost going to double, the new home prices have started to climb up, and builders are increasing their pricing. So if there's anything that's in the ground right now, people should grab it because that's at old lumber prices, unless the builder has increased the price on that as well. But the good deals are the ones that are framed and very close to completion.
So you are one of the top realtors in Maxwell Polaris, and first full year, like that's I think you have completed your first full year now,
this
right?
year, yeah.
So how was your first full year?
It's still a few more months to go. I got in the top 10 list quite a few times so far, which is very flattering. But people ask me, how can you do that in your first year? Technically, yes, as a realtor, it's my first year, but it's not my first year in the industry. I have been with lots of builders before. I worked with Qualico, I worked with Pacesetter, Sterling, with Rohit. I also worked with Victory. There's all those connections that I've had from the past. They help me lots.
So what is the secret of your success actually?
Yeah.
So you have dealt with all these builders. Definitely you have been in touch with them and you have built relationship with them.
Yes.
But what is the success which you have gained? What is the secret of that?
Well, I find that a lot of realtors, when they start new, they try to find their niche. And, some get successful with the buyers, some get successful with the sellers. Fortunately for me, I got successful with both. And one of the reasons was, when I'm listing a property, a pre-owned home, I have a very good idea about new homes, so I can compare them. I know what the buyer is going to be looking at. But also, all those years, last 10 years, the connections that I've made with other realtors, that is what's helping me.
So when we talk about your unique style or unique selling features, like what is one thing which makes you different from the other realtors?
Yes, thank you for asking me that. But yes, one major thing again, is my connection with the realtors, because I know tons of realtors. And when they see a listing from me that come up, I got probably over 20 listings right now. When they see one of my listings, they love to deal with me. They have been dealing with me for last 10 years, and they are in the comfort zone. They know that they're going to get a straight answer from me. We're not going to play, so they're not dealing with anybody that's a complete stranger. So selling older homes, that's what's helping me. And for selling new homes, my experience and connections with the builders helping me.
So there are different ways of selling when we talk about selling from a buyer's point of view and from a seller's point of view.
Yeah.
Whom do you think is your core? Like, do you sell more? Do you like more of selling with the buyers or sellers?
It's every client is important, and whosoever I can serve doesn't matter. My experience has been very extensive with buying new, and I bring a lot of strengths with that. But I was just surprised myself that with the selling of pre-owned homes, the success rate I got was phenomenal.
So when we talk about buyers, how do you help the buyers buy a house, buy a property? Is there a special different kind of concept you follow, or there is a particular way of helping them? So how do you help those buyers to buy a property?
Thank you for asking me that question. I would say, when it comes to helping buyers buy a new home, a lot of people, a lot of realtors, a lot of professionals, a lot of buyers themselves, they depend upon going online on MLS and searching for listings, and they see some good listings. There's some data there, but I find that my niche is to find properties that are not listed, because all the good properties or some of the best properties, they never make it to the market.
I understand.
They sell before they complete.
So when we say from the buyer's point of view, there are so many questions they have,
Yeah.
because some buyers are picky, some buyers want to have a particular kind of set in the house, they want a different kind of color choices and stuff like that. So do you have any set platform for them? Like how do you help them actually?
One, I am very familiar with all the plans that builders make. I am very much familiar with everybody's specification, because while I sold for the builders, it was my job to do shopping. I used to shop them. I used to go and check what my competition is doing. So getting trained in that, being a realtor, it actually really helped, because I already knew what specification comes from what builder, what builders negotiates more, what builders got a fixed price. Everybody's style is different, and to make a real good deal or get the best price possible or best property possible in the market, you need to know, you need to know what the builder feels like, what they think like, and how they present themselves in the market. So
because obviously it's very important to have a knowledge about a product, right? So different builders have a different kind of products, right? So do you update yourself all the time for the products they are selling, because obviously the inventory changes
Yes.
most of the time, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
and the buyer are very picky about what they want to buy,
Yes.
right? So do you update yourself, your knowledge, and your
every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. And I have a very good support system from the builders also. They don't share their inventories with every other realtor or every other person apart from their employees.
Yeah.
I am fortunate enough that tons of builders have given me not only their inventory and what is coming up in the next few months,
Yeah.
but also they've given me keys for their showrooms that I can go and use anybody's showroom.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's a little edge over the rest of the people. Yeah.
That's good. So that's making you top 10 realtors in the city. Absolutely. And now let's talk from the seller's point of view. Do sellers have also particular requirements when they deal with the realtor?
Yeah, it's a very common phenomenon that a buyer wants to buy the best possible
Yeah.
price. They want the lowest possible price, and seller on the other side wants the highest
higher
possible
price,
price.
yeah.
So there's always a gap between that, and to educate people, where it should be actually, and what's realistic is the key to that. Yeah. So sorry, what was the question again?
So the same thing like the seller. When we talk about the seller's point of view,
Yeah.
Do they also have a particular requirements when they are dealing with the realtor? Like they want, obviously they need more price,
Yeah.
but is there any kind of paperwork, documentation where you help them? Like what is your role when you are doing selling a property for a particular
Yes.
seller? Yeah.
Actually, my experience with the new homes actually come in the picture, even when selling an older home, because it's all about presentation.
Okay.
I go and talk to my sellers, and I talk to them about how we can do inexpensive renovations, which will make their house stand out. And in today's time, if you don't have a virtual tour, if you don't have 3D pictures, you don't have high definition pictures, you are not presenting the house completely lit, you're lacking. So one of the very simple examples I can give you is that when I talk to a seller, my first thing to them is, let's do a very inexpensive, cheap renovation that is probably going to cost them $100, but it's going to get them thousands more, and that is just changing the lights.
So do you have relationship or connections with the trade people as well? Because most of the time what happens is, like, there is some kind of a renovation required in the house from the seller or a buyer point of view, right? So
Yeah.
do you have those connections as well where you can help them?
Yes, 100%. Actually, in today's time, a lot of times people will call me and they say, I want to put my house in the market before fall.
Yeah.
And there's not very much time left before that. And but at the same time, we don't want to put out a property where there's things lacking, there's things to be fixed, because that'll be a turn off for a buyer.
Absolutely.
And a lot of first-time buyers, they don't understand some of those fixes can be very inexpensive and very easy. But making making that connection with the trades and the seller so they can get the house fixed and we can put it back in the market as soon as possible is a key role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as the market is changing, it's fluctuating a lot. How was the last year compared to the coming year? So definitely, the market is. We are entering into fall time now.
Yeah.
The market does fluctuate a lot in this time, right?
Yeah.
So how was that year which has passed by, and how do you think, what's the prediction in the future coming?
Yeah. Last 5 years market graph was down the slope. It was downhill. It was not steep, but it was a gradual decline. But this year we have seen opposite.
Is it?
This year we have seen opposite. Property prices, until last 5 years, when did we talk about house prices increasing?
Absolutely.
Now we are talking about house prices increasing. We talk about lumber increasing. We're talking about shortage of supplies. This was unknown for the last 5-6 years.
What is the reason? Is it COVID?
Yes, one of the reasons. Yes, the supply chain has been affected. And somehow lots of people are in the mode of buying because of the low interest rates. So I think the low interest rates is because of the COVID situation.
So do you mean to say that if the interest rate is low, the prices goes up?
No, if the interest rate is low, prices don't necessarily go up. But with the low interest rate, if the demand increases and the supply decreases, yes, prices. So it's all coming down to demand and supply.
Actually, I'm not even understanding this scenario, what is happening right now. Because obviously COVID is there. People, some people are thinking that most of them has got the layoff from their jobs as well.
Yes.
Right? Especially those people who are in the transport industry, talking about them, they have been laid off. Now they have called back because the school has opened back again now.
Yes.
But the thing is, it is affecting the people's job. Market interest rates are going down. Lumber is increasing, but still the market is hot.
Exactly. It baffles me too. Because nobody expected this.
Yes.
Nobody expected the house prices, house sales to go up.
Absolutely, and it has tremendous change in the market right now.
Big change.
And what do you think about coming in like this winter is coming? How's the winter looking?
I talk to a lot of professionals. I talk to a lot of industry people, and they tell me some people will tell me, once the government starts paying CERB, or people lose their jobs and stuff, market confidence is going to go down. But I've been hearing stuff like that for a long time, and I firmly believe now none of that's going to happen. I think the market will continue to grow, and people are still looking for new houses. People still want to get out of their rent, and if given an opportunity, people do want to upgrade their house and live in a dream home. And they find that this time is perfect time right now.
And when we talk about from the investor's point of view, right time to buy for the investors as well, right?
100%.
Are you doing some selling for the investors as well?
Yes, I got actually quite a few investors who are looking for duplexes and townhomes, because until a couple of years back they didn't allow legal basement suites in those. And since last couple of years it's duplexes with legal basement suites, townhomes with legal basement suites, and the third property now with the garage suites and garden suites, they are becoming very popular too. So getting 3 incomes from the same property was not possible until a few years ago. Maybe a very large single family home could have done that, but a small townhome or a small duplex having 3 income properties, that was unheard of.
All right, sir, let's talk from the realtor's point of view, Mr. Paul. So when we say realtors are required, because people cannot see a house without a realtor, right? So now they want to see a property and everybody wants to negotiate. How do you negotiate on the behalf of your customers?
Okay. So that's a very good question. Actually, that's something I really loved, transitioning from builder to realtor. That was my favorite part, because I worked for builders for years, 8-10 years. I was representing the builder. I never represented the buyer. So if technically I couldn't have represented the buyer, because I am employee of the builder. Yes, people can walk into show homes. They can go and look at houses on their own without a realtor. For older homes, pre-owned homes, yes, they have to have a realtor to go see them. But since I became a realtor and got licensed, the very first thing that they taught us while becoming a realtor and getting a license was that our loyalty has to be 100% with whosoever we are representing.
Absolutely.
So if I'm representing a buyer, my loyalty has to be with that buyer 100%. If I'm representing a seller, my loyalty has to be 100% with the seller. I find that, now that, I have the legal obligation to take care of my client, I guide them with the negotiations. But with negotiations, people feel that, okay, everybody thinks they can negotiate.
Absolutely.
But that's not true. You have to have, like, say, I have probably done more than 1,000 negotiations. And, there's, in the beginning especially, I lost quite a few. You cannot become a very good negotiator unless you have lost a few.
Absolutely.
So to go through those number of transactions, regular consumer or a buyer can only do 1 or 2 transactions. How are they going to get experience from thousands of negotiations is where a person like me comes.
So when we say, how do you help people to save their money?
Right.
Once they are buying a house, because negotiation is one thing. People want to negotiate on a particular house.
Yeah.
But is there something involved where you can save extra money for them?
Yes.
How can you do that?
Well, you got to know the specifications of the builder. So if we are sitting in a show home and we're talking to that builder, unless until we know all the competition around, what are they giving out, what are their specifications, what are their prices, to keep that data, together with you and always be updated on it.
Absolutely.
That is one of the things that we have to do. I'm consistently, continuously, every single day trying to find that data. And I'm lucky enough that a lot of builders send me that data, so I am able to compare. And other things, I feel is, when we go to see a house and we want to save some money, the way is to negotiate, way is to find out what else is in the market. While we are going to negotiate, a lot of times people are emotional. They let the other person read them.
Absolutely.
While doing a negotiation, you cannot let anybody read you.
Yeah.
You can ask a simple question that will tell the builder or the seller that you have decided to buy this house, and you cannot let that person know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So friends, Mr. Paul is here. He is giving all the answers what we have asked him, and definitely I would like to tell you that he is one of the top realtors in the city. And if you have any questions, please give him a call. His number is 780-217-9001. He has been very active in the market. People know him very well. So definitely he will be able to help you in every kind of questions you have, right? And definitely if you want to do some negotiations, you have any questions, you are dealing with a builder, or you want to see a house directly, you saw MLS listing and you want to talk about that property, you want to see that property, and you want that your money should be saved, definitely give a call to Paul, and Paul will be able to help you out in that thing. And Paul, when we talk about the listings, what kind of listings you have, what part of the city are you listing?
I work all over the city, but my niche area is South Edmonton.
Okay.
Southwest, Southeast. I am very active there because I sold, houses for Pacesetter and Sterling and Rohit and these guys, and I built a lot of clientele there.
All right.
So I am more active in the South side, but my listings do vary. I have a 3-bedroom, apartment. It's on a foreclosure by a bank with the Bank of Montreal, and I am listing that. We've listed that for $84,900. That's for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Okay,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, that is like most inexpensive property that I got.
Our viewers might be interested in that too.
A lot of investors, I'm talking to investors about that, because spending a little bit of money they would need to spend to repair the apartment, but it can be sold for much higher.
But when we talk about if they are listed for 84,000, definitely there will be a room of negotiation.
100%,
as well.
definitely. And I am there to help them and facilitate that part of the sale. But that's just something that's like a least expensive listing that I got. I got other things like condos. Apart from that, I got duplexes in the $300,000 range, single family homes in the $400,000 range, $600,000 range. We got triple car garages as well. So anything from 84,000 all the way to 800, 900,000, I got all kinds of listings.
That's wonderful. So friends, you have an option of an investment property which he's talked about, so you can definitely give a call to Paul for that as well. So before we wind up the session, Paul, we would like you to give a a brief message to our customers, like what is your strong features, what is your USP when we talk about Mr. Paul Singh, realtor, right, one of the top salesperson. So we want to know, like, what is your USP when you talk about selling or buying a property and then helping them, helping your customers.
Right. I would say that anybody can say anything, but the facts speak for themselves. Starting from the first year that I got into real estate, I was highest sales volume in Edmonton, over $40 million in sales, getting a rookie at the same time, the same year. That was, I think, 2013 or something like that. And every single year consistently, I sold close to 100 homes. With the experience, I would say there's so much that I got to offer. There's no harm in calling and picking up the phone and make a 10-minute phone call. If you feel like that there's value that I can bring to you. In everybody's situation is different, circumstances are different, every client's needs are different. If I can cater to your needs, then there is no harm in having a 10-minute conversation on the phone.
So friends, we are really thankful that you are viewing our shows. Please subscribe our channel, like our YouTube page. At Honey Walia Shows, we will be bringing Paul Singh back again next Sunday, and definitely he will be able to give all the answers what you send the questions to us. So looking forward for your questions as well. Thank you, Paul, for joining us.
Thank you.